Go ahead.
Hey, good morning and welcome back. Here we are live at the White Mule Winery on the high plains of Gasconade County. Grace just give me those, go ahead, and I wasn't quite ready yet. Hadn't got my throat all cleared, but hey, it's good to have you along this morning on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, or possibly you're watching on Facebook Live. If so, good to have it aboard here this morning. At 53 degrees is the temperature here at airtime, and we have, a cloudy sky out there, and Sam says it's going to rain a little bit on us here this afternoon and evening. Hopefully not drenching rain, but we'll take what comes, of course. But a little rain and then cooler weather for a couple of days. But we here at the White Mule are looking forward to spring. Even though the winter hasn't been severely bad, the time, I'm ready. Are you not, Grace?
I am ready, but I will keep my rubber boots on hand just in case.
Well, you'll need to keep your rubber boots, and because the feedlots are still pretty muddy around, and you'll have to continue to do that. But good for you to be with us this morning, and going to start out the show this morning with. I'm sure all of you have heard we've had some tragedies, some sad news in our community over the this last week, and a couple of young gentlemen in service to us have one of them at this juncture, Mr. Griffith, Mason has given the ultimate price, paid the ultimate price for service to us with his death in subsequent shooting that happened at Herman this last week. They were trying to serve a warrant on a criminal, and he shot both him and Adam Sullivan, who is still in critical condition in the hospital. And of course, our thoughts and our prayers go out continually for these two young men and their families. It is just a tragedy, something that you always hope and prayed will not migrate in to our wonderful area that we live in, but certainly enough that it has come. And the only thing I can say is that the community is in mourning. The community will never, ever forget those individuals that paid the ultimate price, or their family, for what they have given to us in their service. Sergeant Griffin was actually the chief of police in our town of Rosebud. And, when we look at policing, he was the epitome of community policing. Everybody talks about community policing, those particular individuals that are in the roots of the community, those particular officers that have the trust and of everybody around them, not only other officers, but people on the street, people that know them, people that go to church with them, people that are with them, socialize with them, always. And their roots are deep here, and they have an abiding trust in these kind of officers. And he was one of those. He was a great man. He was great for the community. He was give people a break when they needed it, a lot of times. But he was just what community policing is all about. So, and Adam Sullivan, I understand the same way, and we will continue to pray for them, and hopefully that some kind of justice is served as we move forward in this saga, and know in fact that their sacrifice will never be forgotten. And on that note, we will be having and had it scheduled before, but a 9/11 Shield benefit here the
25th, next Saturday.
Next Saturday. And this is exactly what this program is for, is to be able to put a safety net underneath these families that or pay the price in all kinds of situations. And we expect that, our community will do its due diligence and support this 9/11 shield benefit, and we'll certainly be thinking about these officers and their family as we move forward. If you need information on that, you can call Grace at the White Mule, or who's running that?
Mike Stillman?
Okay. Mike is VFW at Owensville, and I know Colonel Merritt is involved with that program also, so it's going to be a day of remembrance. There's no question about it, so make your plans if you can and drop by and let's pay our respects to all of those that serve in our community and public safety. And speaking of public servants, we have a new guest here this morning. That Ms. Johnson is the assistant superintendent of R2 School District, and she says she's been here a couple of years. And I remember when you came on, and but haven't had the opportunity to meet yet. Most of the time, Dr. Hardy does the radio here, but some very important issues that are coming up here, and we wanted to highlight those issues before the April election, because there again some important issues to bring before the people, in regard to our school buildings and our school bonding issues, and we're going to talk about what that all is, as we move forward. So tell me a little bit about, well, first of all, the election is what date?
April 4th.
April the 4th, which is always the first Tuesday, correct?
Yep.
In April, and that election in general, I know that there's several things on that, including the fire district at Rosebud going to have an issue on it. What is the amendment that we'll be voting on?
So it will be titled Question, and what it is a $15 million no tax rate bond issue that will come before the voters, and there's a large paragraph that talks about some of the projects, and so hopefully today we can work through just some of the informational things. As a school district official, I can just provide information about the bond issue and what that is. If you are interested in talking to people that are in support of the bond issue, you can talk to Matt Jost or Amy Jo Estes. They're in charge of the Vote Yes Committee. But I would be happy today to just walk you through some of the projects and proposals that we have been working on with regards to the bond issue, if that works for you.
Absolutely, and Ms. Estes was on the radio a couple of weeks ago, along with Dorothea Kepke, talking about Farm Bureau issues, and both of those, Mrs. Kepke is a retired teacher, so we talked about it and give some airtime in regard to that. But it is an important issue that and normally, Stacy, the people in Gasconade County have been very generous, supporting our school district, throughout the years. If we articulate to them what the needs are and what the solution is, for the very most part, they have been very supportive, because kind of all about the kids, isn't it?
It is, and I've had the privilege of being at several different community events in the last month, and we have a few more that we'll be speaking to. And in general, the people have been super supportive, and a lot of the questions that we get are more about what is a bond issue and how does that work? What can it be used for? And so that's been really useful to get to talk to people in the community about, because, one of the big national issues that's happening is, we have this teacher shortage and we want to pay teachers more. And of course we do. And our school board has gone to great lengths in the last year to raise our minimum teacher pay, which has been great. So a lot of questions come out of, can that bond money be used for that? And unfortunately it can't. That's state statute. So with bond issues, you can use it for buildings, you can use it for buses, and you can use it for books, which is now technology, all the things that you get your resources from. And so most of our proposals are around building initiatives, because that's going to take the most amount of the bond issue. And the biggest one that we're most excited about bringing finally to the voters has been, from my understanding, this has been talked about for several years, is a performing arts center for our district. And so we are proposing that a performing arts center would be added onto the north end of the high school, kind of in that open field area. That it would connect the agricultural building back to the high school and to the Performing Arts Center. Right now we have 150 students that every single period are walking outside to go to their class and come back in. And so that's a big security issue for us, and also the comfort of the students, I would say, especially in the cold winter months. But we want to enclose that area so that our kids are within the building all day. So that's a large part of it. So that Performing Arts Center would be built as a storm shelter, so an ICC 500 that would be available, obviously, for our students if it were a quick emergency. But if we had a community disaster, it would be open as well for our community to use. And it would seat about 650 is what we're thinking, which would be plenty of room for all the district events outside of graduation. We wouldn't ever be able to build a building big enough to hold our graduation besides the gymnasium if we go in there. So, but used for all of our programs at the elementary level, the middle school level, and then at the high school level, we have a really great speech and drama program, a really great theater program, and we want to give those kids a space where they can perform.
Absolutely, and there's that's a bigger piece of it, in regard to what the building is actually going to be. But there's a lot of other side issues here that are also, in my opinion, extremely important on programs that are services and buildings that are in need right now. That is included in that, and they too will be a high priority and will give some relief and some support to areas throughout the district that need attention and need maintenance in regard to keep. I think we got the best campus in the whole world.
Yeah.
As far as where it's at, all on one footprint. And this will absolutely add to it. But what are some of those other areas that this bond issue will
probably cover? The biggest area that you won't see a new building coming in, but will have a huge impact, would be our career technical expansion. And that's really been important to the people that I've been talking to in our community, not only because we have some great local industries that are in need of qualified workers that want to employ, hometown kids once they get out of high school. But it's an important skill for our students to be able to access, to build their profile of what they want to do in their career, whether it's metals, whether it's woodworking. One of the big programs that we're hoping to bring back is our building trades program. It was a huge program here quite some time ago, and it's we are facing a huge shortage of skilled workers in that area. And so we are hoping that an expansion, bringing in all the equipment, bringing in some of those program needs that we have, will allow us to bring back that program in full force. So that's one of the other areas that we're really looking forward to addressing.
And with that, you've got my full attention because, Dr. Hardy and I have talked about it. Me and the school board members have talked about it. When I went to school way back when, there was literally 30 or 40 people, in the building trades that built the school would buy the material, they would build it, they would sell it, put it on the market. As a matter of fact, they built the administration building
Yes,
that we're currently using there, and it was a great program, and I know that there are elements of that and some Rala is providing some assistance in regard to that, but there's just something that that you miss, in my opinion, when you're trucking these kids a couple hours when that
Right.
could be hands-on work. You know what I'm saying? And when they were building our community and doing things for that and learning at the same time, and I know that I've got 20 or 30 friends that went through that program and has been sustaining resources to our community ever since, and now they're retiring.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Rolla, it's a great technical
It is.
school. They have dozens of programs, and that's why we partner with them, because even if we have just one student that wants to go into a specific program, we want to be able to offer that for them. But we feel like, especially with looking at the community needs, a program like Building Trades would be hugely successful to keep in our own city limits, and we would be able to get more students in the program, because the reality is you limit the number of kids that will choose to go to a program when they have to ride a bus an hour both ways every day. And so we're really excited about that. And then on top of the Career Tech expansion, the Performing Arts Center, really the third big pillar of the bond issue is safety upgrades. So safety and security, we're looking at a couple of things. Technology gets old really quickly. And so we have cameras in all of our buildings that need to be replaced, and that's a really huge expense. We need to look at the entrances to some of our buildings and being able to limit the access to the office, so that when they come in a building, they can't just go to any hallway at any time that they want. And then we are also looking at building an SRO hub. So a place within our campus where if we had an emergency, law enforcement agencies could meet all in one space, that they would be able to have access to security cameras across the entire campus. So we're really excited about, just continuing to improve our security features.
SRO.
Yes, school resource officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acronyms.
Yes, it is. That's right. That's education.
I see a lot of those things, and I don't do Facebook or those kind of things very much, but Gracie speaks it, and she took English at home for life. There's times I wouldn't realize it if I look at her writing, But anyway, safety resource officers, and that of course security in a rural area is tremendously important. There's no
Yes.
question about it, and having training and having a plan
Exactly.
is extremely important as we move forward. Well, the other thing in regard to other things, that I realize is that, I know that the FFA and the building, not building trades, but those skill sets are extremely important. And one of the things, I've got numerous boys from school that work here. A lot of them do, or several of them have did or are doing welding. And, they're always kind of out of room, you know what I'm saying, in that. So hopefully, we'll be able to, get more hands-on experience in different types of programs, what I'm saying, where they can, have more hands-on experience as they move forward.
And that's what, in our vision, that's what the high school experience should be, is kids getting to try a lot of different things to figure out what they're passionate about, and then make some decisions so that they can go out into the world and feel happy about the career that they've chosen, feel fulfilled in that. And so, we are constantly looking for ways to provide opportunities. We are actually the only school in the state this year that is doing a pilot of a career tech program starting all the way in middle school. And so we have a teacher that teaches an intro to career tech sciences at the middle school level, and then at the high school level has a Career Tech 1, and then does screen printing. So we're already starting to try to expand. We're hopeful that with the bond issue coming in, we can continue to build on those programs and add add the ones that we've talked about today. So those are the three really big things. There's a lot of other little things, and they're not little. There's a lot of other things that are in the bond issue that we want to make sure that we touch every building. So those would be things like preschool expansion. So being able to provide equipment, playground equipment for our early childhood program. We are super excited. We are going to be, already our board has decided to expand preschool programming by hiring 4 additional staff members so we can double the size of our preschool offering. So that's exciting, but we need outdoor equipment for them. We need equipment in the classrooms, and so the bond would help provide that. The middle school gym, don't know if you've been in there recently, it has a dead floor, which means when you dribble a ball and bounce it down, it doesn't always come back up to you, which is a problem for basketball and variety of other sports. So we're gonna.
I got that problem. We're not.
Yeah. Well, after this, they won't be able to blame it on the floor at least. So.
That ball just don't go exactly where it used to be, things.
Yeah.
But, I'm very well aware of that, and we were part of the group that, looked at some of these issues in regard to advisory group, and understand that is, an issue there, and, time goes so quickly.
It does.
You don't realize how quickly, it goes. That gym has been there a period of time,
It has.
and it due for some repairs, without a doubt. So the total of the bond is, you say 50?
15. Yeah, 15. That's a difference.
See, I am
we
so
should
glad.
clarify that. We should make sure we clarify that.
I thought it, you said, because I don't. Have you ever heard that I don't hear that good?
No.
Even when she's right in my ear. 15 million. There we go.
Yeah.
It's $15 million, which is it is a lot of money. But anybody that's built anything recently knows what the cost of it. The good part of that is that bond are at a historic low at this juncture, and we'll be making a longer term commitment on that. When does our current bond issue reside? Do you know?
So the current bond debt would go all the way out to 2033 or 2034.
Okay, the one we're in right now.
Yeah,
okay.
So this would extend it to about 2044, so it would extend it out another
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at a 20-year, you know what I'm saying, in totality. So
Right.
if you think about other infrastructure that people do, 30-year loans, you know what I'm saying, is a normal kind of loan for house and in home and those particular things. So, I think people can get their arms around those needs.
And I think, the important thing that our board is really committed to is to hopefully not ever have to come ask for more to raise the taxes. And that's what we're trying to prevent. So eventually, if you get your debt service so low, you would have to see that roll back. And then we would have to come and ask for a 60-cent increase on the taxes or something like that. And so a no tax rate increase bond issue is what schools strive for. And so we're excited to be able to do that. It is a good time to do it. This is the largest bond issue that we've had, and probably unless it was this large, we would not ever be able to build that performing arts center, because like you said, the cost of building is high. I don't foresee it going down. I can't predict the future, but I think we're going to continue to pay prices like that to build buildings.
Many schools in our conference, in our area, do have the performing art centers, and what is it worth to have kids that are passionate about what they want to do?
Right.
There are costs involved with that, without a doubt, and whether it's performing arts or if it's music, or if it's public speaking and debate, I mean, these are all things that are important introductory levels to give kids the experience that they want to have. I mean,
Right.
it's it's no different than, we put a lot of money in the baseball field.
We
You know what
did,
I'm
yeah.
saying? We put a lot of money in the football field. We put a lot of money in all of the other, particular activities that we do because we believe it pays dividends. We
Right.
believe that, getting kids involved and, getting them to buy in, to the sports or whatever activities they are and be passionate about it and work hard is worthy.
It is. And I think, I've only been here for a couple of years, but if I had to describe what I think the community values, I think they value the small town community and connection that they've built for kids here, but they also want to make sure our kids have all the opportunities that we can give them here at home. And so I think this bond issue has the potential to be able to even increase that. So we're really just excited I've been excited to just go out and talk to people because it refreshes you because sometimes you only hear, when you look at even the state or the federal governments and some of the things that they're trying to do with public education right now, it kind of brings you down and makes you think, man, is there anybody out there that is really supportive of our teachers and our districts? And in this community, those people are here. And so that's just been really refreshing for me to go and visit with people and even people that have questions about, why this and not this, it's because they care about the community, they care about the district. And I think that's a really valuable thing. And we can't, just a couple of other things I want to make sure we mention because we have one really big campus here that we're going to be focused on, but we also have, our Gerald Elementary.
Sure.
And it is,
I like the entrance you put in
Yeah.
there, by the way, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
For the buses to pick up, made it safer, made it more
Mm-hmm.
convenient. People can have, in and out of there in a lot better, safer manner.
Yeah. And so at GES, it is an older building, and there are some things that we need to fix up there. And the biggest, one of the biggest ones, and I noticed this when I went up for the Veterans Day assembly that they had there, which was really well done. But there were several of our patrons there that either had walkers or wheelchairs. We do not have a good handicap accessible entrance to that building. You have to go around the back. There's not great parking. So one of the first things that would kind of change the way that entrance looks so that it is handicap accessible. So when we have students or adults that are coming in that need assistance, that we would be able to provide that. And then doing some work on that main front hallway. So that whole front of the building that you see, that is the original kind of hallway and classrooms in that area. So doing some work there and then providing that early learning playground equipment outside. They got a new piece of playground equipment this year with help from their parent-teacher association, but those things are expensive. I did not realize you're talking about $40,000-$50,000 for a structure, and so it's just and they've changed the regulations about what they can look like and what kind of poles they have to have and all that kind of stuff. So we're hoping to really do some work up there in Gerald as well to make it more accessible, to make it look newer, and to provide those kids with some updated equipment.
You're never exactly sure what strikes a kid's passion and what gets them involved, in different activities. But, for me, it was football. And, we grew up right here, and our family's been here for generations. And, we lived on a farm, and I was the first of our kids, or the only one of my other 5 siblings that got to play any sports, in high school, because we were out here and we were on the farm, and we didn't have a lot of means, and I was a sophomore, went to one game, and I thought, God, I want to play that game. So I tried out for the team, and I made the team. Went one-on-one with all everybody to get on it because I missed the summer practices, but got enough practices in to play. And I don't know that there's not a week that I do not think about what I learned from football.
Yeah.
And how those life lessons. I mean, were somewhat isolated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had church here, and you know, had 4 or 5 people, you know, boys that we kind of got together and did whatever at church. But never have I had the team and the camaraderie. You know what I'm saying, with as many people as I did, and got uplifted like I did on the sports field, because you start realizing your potential. You start realizing what teamwork is about. You start realizing, you know, how much you mean to each other.
Right.
And I carry that, you know, I mean.
You're speaking my language here. So, yeah, so I'm an administrator, and I was a teacher before that, but also for 18 years I was a football coach's wife, and watching the impact of being a part of a football team, the family that it creates, the adversity you have to go through every week, and staying connected with those kids now that they're out of high school has really been a great joy for me and my husband. Even though now he's moved on to an administrative role and is no longer coaching, I just can't tell you how much.
He misses it yet.
He does. Well, you know, we have a son who's now into all the youth sports, so he has been able to coach football and, you know, flag football and basketball, and now he's doing baseball. So he's getting a little, he gets a little taste of it. So, but yeah, I'm sure he does miss that. It's being a part of a team, and you know, I'll say for our district, having as many varsity level sports as we have, given our student population, really gives kids a chance to find their spot. You know, it might be football, it might be something else, but giving kids that opportunity to have that same experience that you're talking about, that you still think about as an adult, I think is really valuable.
Yeah, it's I don't know where I'd be without it. You know, in all honesty, even though I'm not sure where I'm at with it. You wouldn't agree with that, would you, Grace?
You're better with it.
So, you know, and my wife, you know, played college sports and those things, and you know, it when you find your niche and you find your passion, and that's why the Performing Arts Center will add, you know, some available resources to people that want to explore those particular areas.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely.
So we got this coming up on April the 4th.
April 4th.
And what did you say the prop was?
So I believe it's just titled Question.
Oh, the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it is for a $15 million no tax rate. 15.
15
Let me just
million.
make that clear. $1 million no tax rate increase for the Gasconade County R2 schools.
So it's coming up. People will be able to make that choice and you know, see what they think, and it will require a 50%
Yes,
approval
majority,
rating. You know, for that. So it's not a super high threshold, but you know, and you know, we understand where the economy is today. You know, we understand, and we're fortunate to have full employment for the most part where we are, and I think we'll continue to have that. But we understand that you know, inflation is taking a bite, you know, out of everybody's you know, take home, you know, situation. So that, you know, your short term situation is not going to change.
Right.
You know, the same amount of dollars that you're going to be putting into the school system is going to be there. The bond issue is not going to affect that. The amount of years it will.
Right.
So that's an important concept, I think, that people you know, need to understand there. So we're going to take a break here on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, our Facebook Live, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the question, which is going to be before the voters on April the 4th. But Gracie's going to tell us other things that are coming down the pike in our community here, and I know we got several things going on here, several worthy things. Oh, they're always worthy here, but you know,
Busy
several,
weekend. Yep.
several things that is going on that deserves some discussion and some input from our listeners.
Yes. So first thing, the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Owensville is having their fish and shrimp fry Friday, March 17th through March 31st. They'll be having catfish fillet, cod squares, sandwiches, or plates. They'll be serving from 4 until 7. The St. James Evangelical Church in Stony Hill is having their annual chili supper and country store and bake sale Saturday, March 18th. They will start serving at 4 o'clock. The OHS...
We talk a lot about food in this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got that.
Good.
But,
I didn't bring my calendar so I could start writing these things down.
OHS Athletics and Activities is having a trivia night Friday, March 17th and a silent auction. That'll be from 6 until 9 p.m. at the small gym at the high school. 5 rounds, 10 questions per round, $120, and it's 6 people per team, so $20 a person.
So that's coming up when? Friday the
That's on
17th?
That would be tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Wow, that is right,
That
isn't
is
it? I don't know where
and
time
tomorrow's
goes.
also St. Patrick's Day, so.
Yeah. And then Saturday, this weekend.
Yes, this coming Saturday, we will be having a fundraiser here for Tyra Mangrum. Doors will open at 5 o'clock. Dinner will be served at 5:30. I believe they will have a silent auction going on from 5:30 until 7, and then the live auction will be around 7. They also have a DJ playing after dinner as well.
Tyra is a neighbor of ours, you know, that lives right down Rosebud Road and had been diagnosed with cancer. We are hopeful and we're prayerful that everything is going her way, and we think so at this juncture. We think the prognosis will be positive, but you know, they have 2 young kids, and Luke's parents go to church with us, and you know, they it's just a period of time where we all get into. All of us have times when we need support and help, and this is a critical time, you know, for them. It costs a lot, no matter how they work hard. They got jobs and do what they need to do, but just being tied up, you know, and not being able to work, and the extra expense it takes to go to get treatments and all of those things deserves some community support without a doubt, and they'll be doing it here at the White Mule this Saturday.
Yes.
Bring your coats.
Yes, it will be chilly. We will try to get as warm as we can, but
We
still be
did-
chilly
we
in there.
Did some work on our pavilion, but it's still not heated, you know,
Yeah.
and I mean, we got
Heaters.
heaters in there, but it's supposed to get down to lower than they anticipated, I'm
Chilly.
sure.
Yep.
It was really nice last week,
It was
you know,
nice.
but
And I believe there's still tickets, if you still want to get tickets at First State Community Bank or at Seago's Auto Body in Owensville for Tyra's benefit. They're $50 a ticket, or I believe you are able to come and pay at the door as well. And I think there was a quickly put together benefit that I saw on Facebook they were having tomorrow night for Mason Griffith and Adam Solentrup at Bogies in Owensville. And I believe Barely Covered will be playing there as well. So that will be a fundraiser going on Friday evening, tomorrow night.
so I think the community has just kind of started with reflecting on that and supporting the Griffith family and the Sullentrup family. They had a great visual, not a visual,
Yeah, vigil.
visual.
Yeah.
See, I went to Oldville. Okay, well, I was in speech therapy too.
You're also a public speaker, so how does that work out?
And just so you know, I think I've told about everybody else. My speech therapist in 3rd grade, and I was the only one in the little 2-room school at Rosebud. And Gloria Ritter, who's a friend of mine now, also asked me in third grade what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I said, Miss Ritter, I want to be a speech therapist. I want to be a politician. I think I want to be a senator someday. And she looked at me and she said, Charlie, we have a lot of work. So, you know, it is what it is, but, you know, it's all good. So, a little bit more about Friday night here, tomorrow night.
Yep, Friday night we will be serving our steaks and then catfish, beef kebabs, grilled shrimp, and country fried steak from 5 until 8:30. Tom Norton will be here playing music from 6 until 9.
Who?
Tom Norton.
Oh, okay.
And then we will have a drawing here. If you come eat dinner here tomorrow night, we will have a drawing for dinner and drinks for 2. And then we'll also have a green sangria for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
So come out and join us Friday night.
Is it that time of the year already?
It is
St.
that time of the
Patrick's
year.
Day. My
I know.
goodness, it's just,
Going by fast.
yeah.
Then Saturday we will have pizza, wings, and hamburgers from noon until 5, and then our steak dinners from 5 until 8:30. Sundays all you can eat pan-fried chicken from 11 until 3:30.
And then the following week will be the 9/11 Shield benefit.
Yes, the 25th.
And we'll get more information, you know, in regard to that. But I know the VFW in Owensville is, you know, the main, well, they're organizing it and putting it together. So, you know, these are people that serve, you know, and if the veterans are behind them, that's extremely important because who served any more than they did,
Right,
you know?
right.
So it's something that we'll talk about, and maybe next week we can get somebody on the radio since we will be here. We wasn't planning on being here, but we will be here next week, and we'll talk more about those particular issues as well as the Rosebud Fire District is having an issue before the people, also on the same ballot, and it requires some study and understanding in regard to what they do. I can only say that look at what we pay our volunteer fire department. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, where would we be without them?
Yeah, I was able to hear them speak at the Gerald Chamber event earlier this month, and those guys they're something else. They are.
Well, it's volunteer.
It's volunteer.
It's volunteer.
And they
you know?
don't treat it like a volunteer job. They treat it like
Professional.
they are professionals. And so I was super impressed with their presentation.
Yeah. So you're on board.
I'm on board, but I don't live in Gerald, but I'm on board.
I know.
I'm on board.
I know, but we're all interconnected. You know, I mean, we all have agreements where we support each other.
Oh, for sure.
Around
For sure.
here, they all go.
They all
called
show up.
or not.
Yep.
You know, when there's when my garage was on fire, you know, a couple of years ago, I think there was 7 fire departments.
Yep.
over here.
Yep.
So you know, we're one great. We are one great big community.
We are.
And
We
we're
are.
all blessed to be part of that. You know, without a doubt, that's great. So, you know, what has been some of the questions, you know, that has been posed to you in your presentations? Are people questioning the need here? Are they, you know, are they seem supportive of her? What questions do we need to answer?
Overall, people have been very supportive of it. I think some of the questions come about as to how did you end up with this list? Like, how did you prioritize this list? And so, you know, we go back, and you were kind of part of that process
Yes,
too.
I
I
was,
believe.
and my son Woody
yeah,
also.
yeah. So
And he was more active than I was. I went to numerous ones.
yeah.
but-
Yeah, so really a committee of community members and board members and administrators for about a year and a half has been touring, talking, giving feedback, looking at all of our facilities, and then giving a big long list to the Board of Education that was prioritized with high needs and medium and low needs. And then the Board of Education really sat down over the course of a couple of workshops and prioritize that list into what can we actually get done with the amount of money that we have. And so, you know, I have had some questions about the Performing Arts Center and the need for it. And I think what people, especially people that maybe don't have kids currently in our schools, in the high school don't realize is our drama club is the largest organization on campus. We have 150
Really?
members. Yeah. So we have 150 students that are part of the drama club. They put on 2 full shows, a musical and a play every year. They do a night of one acts. They do a 24-hour playwriting event at the high school. They will go to a conference and do some competitions there that they've done really well in, a state conference. And I think that we have a really good program, despite not having a great place to stage some of these things or to do the activities. You know, we don't have a way to teach kids about stage lighting. We don't have a way to teach kids right now about extensive set building. And so this Performing Arts Center would really benefit that group. And you know, you talked about earlier how we have great outdoor facilities. We really do, some of the best in our conference. And those are supporting teams that maybe a 20-member team, maybe a 50-member team, and they deserve it. And I think that our students, regardless of what activity they're passionate about, deserve to have the best facilities that we can provide. We're rebuilding band and choir programs right now, and that we've just seen so much excitement around those 2 programs this year. I can't say enough about our 2 teachers that have come in to build those programs. Ken Tucker and MJ Orff have just done a really great job. And so all of those groups would benefit. But I think beyond that, you have the opportunity, you know, I just think about our DECA organizations, our business organizations,
Sure.
Even our FFA. They go to other schools and do these competitions because they have the space and they have the facilities to be able to host those things. And so I think when people have asked me about that, what I talk to them about is you have to think of it beyond this is a place where we can do a musical, which it is. But it's also going to be a place where a lot of our organizations will benefit. And then outside of that, the community use of it. You know, we pride ourselves on working with our community to provide gym space when we can, to provide classroom space when we can. And this would be another area that I think we have several community groups that would be interested in taking advantage of having a nice space to do presentations and activities and performances.
You know, it's not just about, at this juncture, in my opinion, it's not just about, somebody going to make a living being an actor or actress, you know, down the road or what, but, you know, music itself and the presentation of music is absolutely huge. And we, you know, my wife sings in the choir. She's very talented in regard to that. In our church and you know, and the bands that we have here, it's just part of people's lives and community and a great social situation. But one of the things I think we might be missing is that, with Facebook, with the technology that here, everybody's an actor.
Yeah.
Everybody is on there trying to influence or do whatever they do. And, you know, it takes a lot to be confident, you know, and to be able to present yourself in a certain way that is saleable, you know, and realistic in regard to what you do. And those are the abilities that come out of the performing arts.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, when we talk to community members about what they want our graduates to be able to do, what experiences they want them to have, or what they want them to be able to do coming into the workforce, it's those soft skills. They want people who can communicate. They want young adults who are able to work through adversity, who like to be a part of a team, who have confidence and have had, you know, experiences that prepare them for a lifetime of work. And so I think not just, you know, you talked earlier about the football example, and I think that's totally true. You get some of those skills from sports, and I think you get them equally as much in a fine arts classroom or in a communication arts classroom, that you're learning how to adult, which is something we really need to make sure our kids have by the time they leave.
Communication is really, verbal communication is really, really, really important.
It is.
I mean, I got the kids that work around here, and they can text, you know, all the time, but, you know, verbally.
Yeah.
Looking eyeball to eyeball and being able to discuss things is very important. And I fear we're losing part of that.
Yeah.
You know, in all honesty, it is just all kind of written in AOL language, and I that's what I don't
Yeah.
even know what that means. But
Well, if
you
we
know,
don't, if we don't want to lose it, then we have to be intentional about it. That's the biggest thing, I think. Yes, we have kids that have had, we don't have kids that are born now have never lived in a world without a smartphone or a smart touch
That's not-
screen. They haven't, and so that's part of their reality. So we have to be really intentional about creating experiences where they have to interact with their peers face to face, where they have to work together, where they have to use their hands to solve a problem and not just Google it, right? We can all Google the answers to anything we want at this point. So really, we need to be getting kids who we build into creators, who become innovators and who become communicators. That's the next move for public education.
This virtual world that we're headed to,
Uh-huh.
I don't know that. I live in my virtual world. I only see what I want to see, and
Yeah.
I do what kind of what I want to do. But it is a different world, and we need to prepare for that. And I do know that verbal and communications is going to be an essential part of that, and we need to get back to that.
Oh, human connection is the thing. And I think if our community has experienced a really rough week this last week, that the one maybe silver lining is that we have seen across the board the value of human connection, especially when you're facing tragedy. And I think, that to me is one of the things that we need to take out of this is, what do we do when we've had a horrible event happen? We pull together as a community, and it's all hands on deck. And I think that just brings back to the situation you were talking about at the beginning of the broadcast, in that we want to graduate people that have that in their hearts, that have a love for the community and a love for other people, to serve other people when the time comes. And I think that's what we're really striving for in our district, and what public education strives for across the
And
board.
the vigil they had at Rosebud, if you go on wherever Karen was watching that,
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
It will show
Yep.
you.
Yep.
It will show you point blank of what that's about and what we're trying to create more of. And we're going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Superintendent Johnson, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
for
much for
being
having me.
here. I invite you back anytime, and we'll be communicating the question
Yes.
in the next week or two ahead. And if you got any questions, of course, I'm sure you're on Facebook or something there.
Yeah, you can just message us on our Facebook, and I'll get back to you, or you can call our district office. We've had several people call
Sure.
in the last couple of weeks that are just wanting to better understand the issue, which I love. I love informed voters. I think that's valuable. So, so give us a call at the district office, or send us a message on Facebook, and we will definitely get those answers to you.
Thank you, Stacy, and thank you for being here today. God bless you. Keep the Griffith family and the Sullivan family and Matt in your prayers and thoughts. They need it. God bless you. We will be back next week, and we'll talk more about what's going on in our neck of the woods. Thank you.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us